Anton Daniels, Melanie King, and many other content creators online have taught me that if you're inauthentic and do enough live streams, you finna get caught lacking in these streets with the receipts of your contradictions and true intentions.
Is this the listen? I'm here to bring visibility to it. Oh, we reserving. Oh, we got some crazy receipts in the vault today. I ain't even scratched the surface.
As long as
hold on. And guys, where's my super chats? Because we're gonna shut this down in 2 seconds. Right. I ain't got no super chats, y'all. Y'all don't love me. We're gonna shut this down. Sis ain't over here for her health. Sis need money. Sis got a broken nail. 2 broken nails. I gotta get, who's gonna give me some nail money, y'all?
We have the tapes. We have the information.
Ow.
Venmo, Zelle, PayPal. You got to give us something, sister.
Well, I'm good. I'm straight financially. I'm not. I can't take that. And
I gotta start a new business. I gotta find a way to make money.
So if you don't know, divorce is very traumatic. It takes a toll on you no matter what happens. And you know, it's traumatic for everyone. The kids, you know, it's just a lot. So here I am now, a single mom at 40 to 2 kids.
Look how ghetto my nails are. I had a Band-Aid on them earlier. Y'all, I need some nail money. We're gonna shut it down.
A few inches later.
Thank you guys for my nail money. Thank you guys. Ringo, Satire, appreciate you. Marty Collins broke me down. I broke you down. What'd I do, Marty? Cheap nail money. He's sending me $1.99. Where'd you think I'm getting my nails done at the swap meet?
Here, Anton of the Lapeef Network and Millionaire morning show exposes himself as a problematic modern woman whom he tends to criticize in many videos.
Now, I discovered Anton when I was doing some research on Kevin Samuels. Kevin Samuels said that men need to be able to slap their women into compliance. And Anton was laughing about it. Him and all of these other people on the Lapeef Network. Look at the video right here.
There are times when the best course of action is to slap a woman. That's what Sean Connery said. It's still on YouTube right now. Go look at it. And Barbara Walters was like, thought he was going to recant his statement, and he doubled down. He said, let me explain what I mean. He's like,
okay. So you think that men, we're going to pivot a little bit, right? You think that men that are older, obviously there's a whole bevy of type of man that are older, right? You got but let's just say the ones that are successful, the ones that are trending towards a certain direction, they get better with time. What about women? As they age, do you believe that it's much more difficult for them to get out of their stubborn ways or the ways that they've hardened their heart against or for? Do you think that is much more difficult, or do you think that there's still time? Because one of the things that Kev said right before he passed away that had people all up in arms is that women past a certain age, specifically 35, are kind of leftovers. What are your thoughts? What are your thoughts about women that continue to age that have not yet found the man or are just deciding that they want to get married?
Yo, this is where he capping, y'all, and I'm gonna hold him accountable. Pay attention to what just happened.
But it was a group of women. Anton loved kicking it with the ladies, giving game, and so on and so forth. And they asked me a question because I heard them and they was talking about something, and I was just chilling, and then they asked me what I thought. And I said, I always lead with a question. And they basically, the sentiment was, it ain't no good men and all of this other type of stuff, blah, blah, blah. And so I always lead with questions. Well, what do you define as a good man? How old are you? How many times have you dated? What is your last relationship turned into? Did you have a father, right? And then the stripper, when I start giving them facts, hey, listen, married women are a lot more successful. Women make less than men. And, these are just facts. And we're going to go over them today. We're going to deep dive today, right?
This ain't about no love. The whole thing was a setup.
Years old. She's never known anything, other than the example that our family has groomed our daughters to be. At the same time, it's like, God, is she supposed to settle for a guy to make $50,000 a year because that's the standard? Because that's what the average that guys make? That I'm conflicted. I'm honestly conflicted, and it's just a different type of conversation when it hit home. It's a whole different type of conversation when it hit home, bro.
Keywords being when it hit home. Roasting random average women for having unrealistic expectations when dating, especially as they get older in age, is okay. But when it comes to his daughter possibly not having the femininity, good looks, physique, charm, or wifely skills needed to get or even maintain a relationship with a high-earning man, he now questions his own Kevin Samuels inspired talking points.
I'm a psychologist, nigga. You don't think I can read you? I'm a psychologist, nigga. You don't think I can read right through your phony ass?
You know, honestly, I don't know, JR. I'm so conflicted, bro. I just don't know, honestly. And maybe this is what all guys think, and really maybe you can tell me what you think also, and if I'm off. But is there any guy truly worthy of how it is that you're raising your daughter to be? You know what I'm saying? When we start to take into consideration, right? Because like, for example, my daughter is 13 years old and she's never known anything, you know, other than the example that our family has groomed our daughters to be, you know what I'm saying? And even in that, it's almost like, you know, you're looking for a certain thing in a guy, and he don't have to automatically be successful, but you know, are we setting our daughters up for failure by having their standards be too high? You know, do they have to lower their standards to be less than what it was that we raised them to be, or the example that we set prior to? Because largely, if you look at generation after generation, in my personal opinion, it gets worse out here. I don't know if it's because we have more visibility and it's just social media, so we can see more people and how it is that they operate throughout society, but it seems like it's getting worse and worse and worse and worse. And it's almost like, do I want her to just be with a man? Is that the standard? You know what I'm saying? Like, is that it? Like, is that the end goal, to just be married?
You make me sick sometimes. Please, just be quiet and listen, because let me tell you something. You don't know what the hell you talking about.
See, for me, it's to be successfully married. So I over deliver when it comes to the example that I set for. Because even if she don't, let's just say hypothetically, she don't fall into the space to where it's just total, absolute successfully married like me and her mother, maybe she can fall a tier lower, and that's more than acceptable for me. But at the same time, it's like, God, like, is she supposed to settle for a guy to make $50,000 a year because that's the standard? Because that's what the average that guys make? Like, you know, that I'm conflicted. I'm honestly conflicted, and it's just a different type of conversation when it hit home. It's a whole different type of conversation when it hit home, bro.
I would like to reiterate that your good looks, social status, nor income necessarily means you are settling, or that you will have a successful dating life if you don't also possess sex appeal.
A lot of y'all are good guys minus the sex appeal. And that's why you have a hard time getting women. See, you don't deserve a chick just because you're a good guy. See, guys think that they can rack up these good guy points like, oh, I went to school, check. I go to work, check. I help old ladies cross the street, check. I pay my taxes, check. I'm a law-abiding citizen, check. I got all these things checked off on the list. So where's my woman? A woman should want to be with me. I'm like a really good guy, but you don't get her tea wet though. This is what I don't get. I don't understand. Like, why is this so hard to understand?
Your appearance takes precedence over simply your looks. For most women, depending on how they style their hair, they'll not only get an increase in the amounts, but also a vast difference in the types of guys who approach them. And for most men, that'd mean getting a haircut periodically. For me, I get mine cut every 2 weeks. Having fitted clothing, not worn out shoes, and equally important as all of this is knowing how to dirty talk and flirt. For example, I always have my dates sit beside me in a secluded area of the venue or lounge. It's a lot more intimate than sitting across the table from each other. And as you converse beyond small talk, I might ask, yo, so how is the dating scene in Ottawa or the dating scene in insert city treating you? Like last weekend, I literally approached a girl who's on her way to a Hinge date, right? So some people like a mixture of online dating plus in person. Others strictly don't rate the dating apps. So it can be a lot. It can be pretty overwhelming for a lot of girls. Like I literally made a fake Tinder account as a girl, and within 24 hours, over 99 plus likes. So yeah. Thereafter, I ask, would you say you have a high or low libido? They might say high. Maybe they want to say, oh, I want to get intimate with a guy maybe 3 or 4 times a week. Or they might say once or twice a week. But for me, my average is usually 3 or 4 times a week. Then I hit them with the home run question. I'm like, yo, so are you familiar with safe words? They're like, nah. I'm like, all right, listen. I love safe words because you can easily voice your discomfort. So whenever I'm intimate with a girl, cherry means stop, okay? Peach means slow down. And if it feels good, and you want me to keep doing it, just say yes, sir. You know what I'm saying? Just say yes, sir. That's all you need. Just say yes, sir. But you see how it's kind of like you're already conducting foreplay just with your words, right? It makes people already see you in a sexual type of light and starts getting the person in question aroused. Another important question I inquire about is what part of your body turns you on the most? And the answers I usually get are inner thighs, nipples, or the neck. And then if they say the neck, or even if they don't say the neck, I'm like, yo, how's your neck feel? Like, oh, it's good. I'm like, yo, come closer. There's a little bit too much space between us right now. Come closer. And I start sucking on the neck. Without failure, I usually end up hearing a little moan, right? We end up making out. And ultimately, I pull them back to my crib by telling them I'm the best masseuse in the city, right? So, shit like that. Oh, and a bonus question I ask is, yo, have you ever used a vibrator before? Usually, some of them actually do. Others be like, nah. I'm like, yo, you know what I like to do? I like to have my hand around your neck like this, your back on my chest, vibrator on your clit. That shit slaps too. No cap.
My nigga, I'm glad you said this. I'm glad you have that position.
I bring all this up to reinforce the fact that a man's income, nor a woman's looks or physique, equate to the pair being sexually compatible. And the libido question I ask is very indicative of compatibility issues that could arise in future events. So Anton talks about settling, right?
Years old, and she's never known anything, other than the example that our family has groomed our daughters to be. At the same time, it's like, God, like, is she supposed to settle for a guy that make $50,000 a year because that's the standard? Because that's what the average that guys make? Like, that I'm conflicted. I'm honestly conflicted, and it's just a different type of conversation when it hit home. It's a whole different type of conversation when it hit home, bro.
And that his daughter getting with a guy that makes $50K annual salary isn't enough. But would his daughter not be settling, right, if she got with a 6-figure earning man who doesn't really care for her pleasure in the bedroom as well? He could very well have a prawn addiction, you know what I mean? He could very well not really believe in aftercare or cuddling. And worst of all, he could very well not be a big believer in eating the kitty. I've literally heard mandem say that eating punani is disgusting. I'm like, what the fuck? Disgusting? Bruh.
God, I just wanted God to forgive me for what I was going to say. I ain't going to say it though.
And if a man or woman were to ignore compatibility issues in the bedroom, they'd be in a perpetual state of sexual frustration. Just ask the people on the Reddit forum, Dead Bedroom, who disclose the inner workings of their relationships. And Anton goes on to hang himself further by saying, quote unquote, stop asking women to submit to $50,000 per year. My nigga, what?
And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take that notion along with Mr. Daniels and every other dude like him, and I'm gonna put them to sleep.
Some of them going to sleep. Fuck God!
Let's get it.
This whole $50,000 conversation real quick. So, I need y'all to stop asking women to submit to you for $50,000. Real talk. Like, this is real talk. The standard is so low. I'm gonna give you a small economics lesson, and I'm gonna help you to understand why you don't deserve pussy for $50,000. I hate to be.
Bam! And right off the bat, this brother is trying to take us to the University of Trickology 101. This brother got his master's degree in tricking. As a matter of fact, I heard he's working on his dissertation for his doctorates in trickology, right? Because this dude just said, I'm going to show you why you don't deserve any pussy for $50,000. So what he just did, in essence, was admit to being a trick. He just equated pussy with money, money with pussy. You only deserve pussy if you make X amount of dollars. That is trick logic 101. Let's get it. So now we know we can't listen to nothing this dude, we can't take nothing this dude say seriously. Because he ain't a player. If you about some game, if you about getting at women, if you about, you know what I mean, you can't listen to this dude. We've established that out the gate.
Nah, and you know what's funny is it's not about, because what he said, that Kevin Samuel proved that the dating market is hard or something like that. Is that what he said? No, this is if you actually look closely, and I talked about this before, I think guys see this is when you got to be able to critically think, look, and see what's popping off, right? It's what it is that what Kevin Samuels does is that he actually highlights, you know, he highlights beta males, if you understand what I'm saying. Like, he highlights the non-select. He highlights, meaning the guys who watch his show. You understand what I'm saying? They're looking at women who are looking for those types of guys, which are quote unquote the providers. You understand what I'm saying? I want the guy with the 6 figures and all this other stuff. What those women are looking for is someone to settle with. What women generally want overall is they want a guy who they're sexually attracted to, who dominant, who's an alpha male, and who provides and protects and has all that the resources and stuff. They want the entire package. You understand what I'm saying? But what women will do is they will settle for the guy with resources. So a lot of the guys who watch Kevin Samuels, they're resource guys, meaning their most attractive quality is their resources. And so what happens is that they think that they are the top guy because this is what women are saying they want. The women on Kevin Samuels' show, what they're essentially saying is that what I really want is the guy that hits on all cylinders, but you guys don't. But what you do have is resources, so I'll settle for y'all. But those guys don't realize that they're the settled guys. They're the guys that women are settling for. You see what I'm saying? And so the reason why those guys are attracted to Kevin Samuels' show is because usually the guys that are attracted to Kevin Samuels' show are guys who aren't generally attractive to women, which is why they like to see Kevin Samuels roast the women. It's like, yeah, get that whore, get that chick. You see what I'm saying? Like, this is what happens. So that's what I'm saying. You got to look at it critically, because, and this is why they're saying that Kevin Samuels proves that dating is hard. No, it's the guys that watch it, it's hard for them, which is why they're tuning in to see women that remind them of the women who didn't want them get roasted. You see what I'm saying? That's generally what happens.
Yeah.
Right. Same thing with guys in this space where they, some of them like to hear the doom and gloom. They get off on that, and that's going to draw the crowd, and then that's where the money's going to be. So that,
like, I've had some people hit me, how come you ain't saying something about these bad words? I say, no, I'll call out someone that needs to be called out. But my thing is, when you see the woman is crazy, she's argumentative, she's unattractive, leave her alone. Don't focus on her. I would focus on the attractive women. Seriously. Don't focus on it. If they are physically unattractive, don't focus on them. I focus when I'm out, like a busted woman. The only way I even see her is if she come right to me, stand right in front of me. My eyes are only focusing on women who are fine, who look like they work out, who look like they got some sense. You know, when I see ratchet women wherever I'm going, like I said, I'm right outside Baltimore. When I see ratchet women, I don't think anything. You know, unless they just right in my face, you know. Unless they just right in my face, I don't worry about it.
Get back a little bit more. I like that curve up in there. You want to see the curve in her back, right?
Definitely.
You want her to open her mouth.
Oh yeah, definitely.
You want her to do all of the things that men, the great men that
she
go
gonna
out
do it
and
too.
kill themselves. I don't even sleep sometimes.
And this is another thing. She wants to do that. I don't know why this dude is talking like women are silly from The Color Purple, and they just let us get on top of them and do our business, like he said in The Color Purple. That's not the case. These women are freakier than ever. They busting it open left and right. They letting dudes go up in their mouth left and right. Stop it, bro. Stop it. You sound like a clown. But when you think about it, it makes perfect sense. Because look at this nigga. Look at him. Of course, a woman should be compensated if she opens her mouth to him. A woman is definitely going to want to be compensated if she bends over for him. Because Anton, this dude got some problems.
As if to imply he's been making more than 50K ever since he's known his wife, Rita.
Hey, watch this. Watch how we bring it out of him. And just to give you guys a little bit of a foundation of who we are and how we came to be, I met my wife back when I was in high school. So I couldn't have been any older than 14, 15 years old. And right away, I knew she was going to be my wife.
Ain't nothing wrong with being a side chick.
Yes, it is.
Ain't nothing wrong.
There's so much wrong with being a side chick.
What's wrong with being a side chick? You may graduate one day. I'm trying to tell you that everybody got a role to play, and it's a reason why side chicks exist.
Will, I got the receipts.
You
I
ain't
know
got proof about me.
Will, I got the receipts. You ain't got proof about me.
Is this the, listen, I'm here to bring visibility to it. Oh, we reserving. Oh, we got some crazy receipts in the vault today. I ain't even scratched the surface. I had no interest in actually dating her, and that's the ironic part, right? Because it just seems like it doesn't make sense. Like, how do you know this person is gonna be your wife, but you have no interest in dating her? And it's just because I slotted her different. I looked at her differently than all the rest of the women, and I told her very early in the conversation, like, yeah, I mean, it's so crazy, but I really believe that you're gonna be my wife. And it's weird to think about now, being almost 40 years old. I'm 38 years old now, and we've been married for over 16 years, going on 17 years in the summer.
What is it like being married to Anton Daniels? Oh, Jesus. Wow. Times it can be hard and sad and difficult because Anton has a lot of different personalities, and so you have to be a certain type of woman to deal with. Anton is very emotional. He doesn't communicate effectively. I don't think that he has killed anybody before. I think he's capable of it. I've seen him angry before. He's just like a totally different person. When he's angry, he blacks out, and that's just...
But it's weird to think about that I actually believed it and knew it and was intentional, and that I was gonna nurture whatever this thing was for it to be more than just some fling or dating an opportunity or whatever. Like, I was a high school kid. I didn't know any better, but I knew enough to actually slot her differently than all the other women that I had interacted with up to that point.
I told you. What did I tell you? Didn't I tell you? 'Cause I told you. And when did I tell you? A long time ago. And what did I say will happen when I told you? Exactly what just happened.
And that I was just willing to nurture the friendship. I was willing to look at her differently. I didn't want to touch her in that way. And it was just a whole nother different type of conversation that we had based off really building and getting to know each other. And even if it was an opportunity for me to move differently with her, I just wasn't, because she was worth more to me than any other woman that I had interacted with up to that point, even though we were still in high school.
You really think someone would do that? Just go on the internet and tell lies?
Was he not expecting cooperation, submission, amongst other things back then? Or wagwan?
Something at some point, right?
No? Okay, no. All right. So,
Okay, so
this is basically what the sexual marketplace value is. What women desire in men.
Is this Kevin Samuels terminology?
Okay.
No, this is life. This is honestly, sexual marketplace value has been around way before Kevin Samuels got popular.
Oh, okay.
Real talk. All right. So sexual marketplace value is largely the thing that men desire in women, and the things that women desire in men is two different things, right? Largely, let's just say for the sake of conversation, in order to expedite this, women desire a man's ability to provide and protect, which means that his ceiling or his ascendance into that comes much later in life, right? Your earning potential as a man explodes, and it doesn't even start to decline until maybe your 60s,
she's heard of
depending
it,
on
though,
whenever it is that you retire,
Lep
whatever
Island
like that,
gal,
right?
whatever
So
it is.
as a man continues to age, he becomes more desirable from women, because that's the time, or his peak is much later in life. Whereas the thing that men desire from women often aligns with what she looks like, and her peak comes much earlier. So she ascends much faster, whereas a guy is doing like this in his 20s, and a woman is doing like this in her 20s, right? And then she's slowly declining once she hit that wall, and a guy continues to ascend because of the desirability of what it is that women are looking for. So that largely feeds into what the wall is, or what men identify as the wall, because what's desirable for men obviously is something that's coming in a woman that is not past a certain age or whatever, when you look at it on the grand scheme of things. Does that help a little bit?
I thank God that I was blessed to be a thinking man. I thank my ancestors that I was blessed to be a thinking man, because I didn't even know that this was going on.
But again, if you are a boring ass nigga with no charisma, your good looks or income is not very helpful.
Okay, so tell me a little bit about yourself.
Man, where do I start? I like martial arts a lot. I did a bit of pharmacy back when I was a little bit younger, about 2-3 years ago. I got certified at pharmacy around when I was 17. I didn't really do anything with it. I went to university for a while. I was getting like a business degree, so I have a bachelor's in business. And then I did pharmacy for a little while, for about 3 years, and then got bored. So I was like, let's go see what the military has to offer. Didn't do anything. I did my PICAT about a year ago, got a 96 on that. It goes up to a 99, got a 96. They offered me nuclear physics, and I was like, why the fuck not?
Hold on real quick. I want to point out something. This is how y'all niggas sound when y'all on dates.
Exactly. Oh my God. Emotional, my nigga.
So I went there, and now I ship out in a few days.
Oh, okay, nice. Well, best of luck as you ship out pineapples.
Yeah.
Why? Because he literally didn't tell me any qualities about himself. He's just like, I made a 96 on this. I did this. And I feel like I did that at first too.
See, and you know what the funny part is? She don't even know what she's talking about at this point. It's not that he didn't say any qualities about her. She's basically saying, I didn't feel anything from this boring ass nigga.
Right.
That's what she's saying. Because see, what happens is that a woman has to feel the situation. This is why I tell all you goofy niggas who talk about, yo, it's all about looks, bro. It's all about looks maxing, bro. All that game shit is stupid. It's all about looks. This dude, he's good looking, right? So, because if you look at the comments of this post, this is on the Spiritual World Instagram. Go on there, look at the comments. The women are like, oh, but he's so handsome, right? But then she's like, I'm not, because I'm like, I'm getting bored listening to this nigga. So I already know.
Yo, nigga, I would have been like, yo, man, I'm a nuclear physicist for the Navy. But the other day when we pulled into a port of this little country, and I saw a bunch of chicks that look just like you on the right.
Exactly.
On the left. I saw a chick that looked, are you from such and such country?
Mm-hmm.
And I went on a couple dates with a couple of them out there too. They some nice girls. What country are you from?
Mm-hmm.
That's how you finesse that. You don't just, oh well, I got a 96 on my LSATs and I started walking and I did pharmacy for 2 years and I would have been like, yeah, I did pharmacy for 2 years. Yo, what kind of y'all ever been on Molly?
Right. You know the funny part about the situation? He didn't control the direction.
There's a reason why certain scientists like Bill Nye the Science Guy or Neil deGrasse Tyson are more famous than others because they're able to captivate viewers despite discussing complex topics. Moreover, a girl being pretty doesn't necessarily equate to an ideal relationship. With enough dating experience, you'll find yourself willing to go down in looks, to go up in cooperation, femininity, and sexual compatibility, men and women. Oh, and let's not forget peace. Peace in there is very important as well. No cap. I've literally asked girls if they've ever orgasmed from a guy eating the kitty. And more times than not, it's usually a no, or not very often. And I make it my prerogative to get them to that point of euphoria anytime we link up. That blindfold, 2-finger plus tongue combination usually gets them addicted, not gonna lie.
I don't talk it, I live it, I walk it. I don't talk it, I live it, I walk it. I don't talk it, I live it, I walk it.
Once you've had women enthusiastically swallow your nut, deep throat, suck on your balls, amongst other things, it makes it very difficult to tolerate a pillow princess or lazy lover type starfish just because she's a conventional beauty standard. The same applies to men who are ultra vanilla in the bedroom and have a Madonna whore complex when getting intimate with your wife or girlfriend. All of this is included in what Anton failed to highlight when discussing your sexual attractiveness when dating, or your SMV, basically, sexual marketplace value, as they like to call it. Not just youth, beauty, or income. And content creator Robo the Rebel highlights similar concerns about Anton in his commentary.
Right? So he understands what sexual marketplace value is, right? Or at least to some extent, right? He got the point, right? But now when it comes to his daughter, that goes out of the window. And for a person who says to move off of logic and not emotion, he's definitely moving off emotion. Because as a father, we all say, hey, look, our daughters are beautiful. We want the best for them. We want the world for them. And in a way, because he said it, he kind of mentioned Dorilla. Is there any guy that's really good enough for my daughter? Really? But, so here's the thing. As the father, Anton, nor I don't have control over it either. I can't do it either. We have no control over the sexual marketplace. The young men that are coming up, he said his daughter was 13. So the boys who are 13 or older will be the ones that are, going to be vying for marriage of his daughter in however many years, right? At least 10 years, because 23, that'll put her right at 23. That will be at the peak of her sexual marketplace value, right? That's where she can get the greatest value on the sexual marketplace.
My life together, I ain't got no time to argue with y'all. I already know how niggas be on the internet.
So, but the thing is, her prime market value is going to be 23 to 25, 27, whatever. So she should be ready to start. So those guys in that age range, up until 30 or a little bit older than her or whatever, they're going to determine her value. And it's going to be on her sexual attractiveness. It isn't going to be what Anton can provide for her, or her money, her education, all the things that modern women say And he's saying she has to settle for a dude making $50,000. Well, that's average, or that's above average for a black man. And he said that's, you know, he would prefer that, but he would prefer being in a, you know, regular marriage or whatever, right? And I'll let him speak on that. But if she's average, if my daughters are average, if a woman is average, guess what? Does she deserve, or should she get a man who's above average? No, she's gonna get an average man. So even when he said date outside the race, the average white man makes, guess what? $50,000. The average black man makes $42,000. So if his daughter is average, and Anton doesn't get to define that, as much as he wants to be in control, the men who will be in the dating market at that time, they will determine her value. If she's average, they will determine that value for her. If she's above average, if she's a, you know, 8, 9, 10 on the sexual attractiveness scale, then she can pull that, you know, above average man. But if she's not, if she's in the average range, she's not settling if she gets an average guy. That's her sexual marketplace value.
What's that proverb again? Yes. Give someone enough rope and they'll hang themselves? Well...
Answering your question.
Okay.
But option 3 for me, and you know I don't believe in staying on code, is that I would prefer for her to marry outside of her race.
You would prefer?
Yeah, let me say it. So he doesn't want her to be in a so-so marriage. He would prefer her to marry outside of a race if she can get somebody. But guess what? If he's cool with Kev, he talks to Kev all the time. I've heard Kev say it. I haven't listened to Kevin Samuels in a minute, but I've heard him say it. So if he believes all the stuff that Kevin Samuels is saying and so forth, that the higher men get in terms of economics, the more race loyal they become. So he wants this high value guy for his daughter, and he doesn't care if they're white. They're going to be more race loyal the higher economically they go. So is he putting his daughter even in a situation to where her pool narrows even further because he doesn't want her to be with an average or be in the so-so hum. And again, this all is based on her sexual marketplace value. If she's average, it's an average guy. Even though we are fathers, it may sting, but we gotta move logically if we're gonna help them out. We can't tell them, you know, hey, you deserve a guy that's a millionaire or whatever. Even though Anton is a millionaire, whatever, his daughter doesn't deserve it just because he's one.
Let's be nice. We don't have to go there. I mean, you're not wrong, but you didn't have to say it. I mean, good Lord.
If she can't find a suitable candidate that meets my expectations within her race, I'm okay 100% with her going outside of her race. I've seen successful marriages. I've seen successful marriages. We got some good friends right now, Rita, where well, more than one.
He's arguing just like a modern woman. Anecdotal evidence, and it's all emotion based, and it's based on. Of course, it's possible. It's possible. But is it probable? Yeah, it could happen. But is it probable? Right? She's gonna get a high value white man if she can't get an average black man. And he doesn't want her to have an average black man, but she's gonna be able to move up and get a high value white man. Or I don't know, maybe an average white man in his book will be good enough. Maybe an average white man is better than an average black man. I don't know. They didn't get into that question though.
Women of my family, and they wind up marrying outside of their race, and they treat them like gold. I mean, they treat them like goddesses. And so I know this is a caveat, and I'm pretty sure that JR did not expect for this conversation to turn this way, but I am very much okay with my daughter marrying outside of her race if she can't find a suitable candidate within it.
What races are you talking about? What
Any
race are
race.
you referring to?
Any race where the guy meets the expectation when it comes to character, drive, and ultimately becoming a better version of himself every single day, I'm okay with him.
So what races were your friends? The one that you were just talking about? What
Both of them are white guys. Both of them are white guys.
By the stuff that comes out of your mouth. I don't understand why I did not see this coming. I do not understand why I did not see this coming. I don't even know what to say to you right now. I need you to shut the hell up for the immediate future.
What race are the dudes that you said you were grooming some people to kind of be the dating pool?
Guys that I mentor, young guys, they all black.
Okay. So would you say you would prefer for your daughter to
I would
date?
prefer for her to
I mean, not date, marry a black
I
man.
would prefer for her to go outside of her race than to settle for some substandard. Not saying that all black people are substandard, because I know the overwhelming majority of the people that's in my network are black, right? However, and they all awesome. But if we just go on purely off of statistics and we saying that, okay, only 1 in 4 black women are married, right? And then you also add on the caveat of that the average guy, if we can't ignore it, only the average black guy makes less than $50,000 a year. If she has to settle for that, then I would prefer for her to go outside of her race in order to be successfully married. I'm okay with that.
So I just wanted to let him say that, because he kept using the word settle, right? Settle. And like I said again, he understands that it's based on her sexual marketplace value. It's not settling if on that scale her sexual marketplace value is average, then it's not settling to be with an average dude. So he's moving just like one of these modern women saying, well, I'm settling, when that's actually her speed, or that's actually her, equal.
Honestly, I've smashed my fair share of snow bunnies and girls from other ethnicities, but I don't think I'd wife one up, right? So there's one thing to be a part of the black culture, then there's Nigerian culture. Now having to explain both of those to a non-black person, it's a lot of, it's very vast in terms of like the learning gap. As I'm sure many non-black girls feel the same way about me or other men they are dating who are not within their immediate culture or race. This is very evident in the many Reddit forums I've read. Reading through the questions and responses gives one a deeper insight into the complexities of interracial dating. You'll soon realize it's not as simply as just date outside your race, as many content creators online would have you believe. Like even personal finance gurus like Graham Stephan, who critiques people's spending, discusses side hustles, and shows you how to save more money. His primary wealth building tool is YouTube, a business that's not predicated on fixed hours worked.
King money. Now the stuff we teach here, and have for almost 30 years, is proven.
What's up, you guys? It's Graham here. So we got to take a moment and talk about what's going on in the stock market, because as we're finishing up the week, stocks are...
Personal finance channels like Graham Stephan or Dave Ramsey are great for learning how to work on your consumption side of the equation. But if there was one thing I wish they spoke more about, it would be their ability to make money. And I understand why they don't do this. It's easier to reduce your expenses in the amount that you consume than it is to increase your income. When speaking to a mass audience, giving the advice that will work for most people is typically the best choice. We see that there are entire communities built up around focusing on frugality. The FIRE community is one example of this, a movement that adopts the strategy of living extremely frugally, saving and investing as early as possible, with the intentions of retiring as early as possible. Minimalists also share a similar view to the FIRE community, although more deep-rooted in philosophical positions about the world and materialism at large. People like Graham Stephan or Dave Ramsey promote strategies that fall in the spectrum of living frugally, saving a lot of money, and investing in the long run. And there's nothing inherently wrong with this strategy. It works for a wider range of people with varying degrees of income. But let's be honest, Graham Stephan doesn't rely on cutting coupons or living an incredibly frugal lifestyle to be making $100,000 to $200,000 a month from YouTube. Nor does Dave Ramsey rely on these strategies to have an estimated net worth of $55 million. These people are utilizing a means of production at mass scale.
At the end of the day, a lot of people say one thing online, but move shiesty in real life, not really practicing what they're preaching. Do you honestly think Graham is spending time doing all the side hustles he discusses in his videos? Probably not. Probably not. But while you're here, yeah? Watch my other video right here on how to move out with bad credit, an eviction, or no job by living in Airbnbs. You gotta stack up some bread, emergency savings fund, to make this method work for you, but it should suffice until you get something more permanent. Or watch my other video right here on how to legally delete thousands of dollars of credit card debt. Ask me how I know. But as always, if it doesn't feed you, don't water it. And too much of any good thing is good for nothing. How are you lot doing today? Stay with me. I am doing more, saying less, keeping that same energy. No cap. Flip the script. I'm out. Deuces. Bow.
Can you tell somebody I wanna meet your mother? Even though sometimes we fight, though, you know you the one. I cannot wait till the east side and the west side.